You know what I wish we had for this one? Like puppets.
Yeah.
This was a puppet.
Yeah.
What is this snake on my shoulder?
Oh, sorry about your dead human friend, Phillips.
Welcome to This Time with Daniel and Shahbaz. Today we're talking about the Happytime Murders, which, now that I'm saying it out loud, it's really messed up as a title.
We have, like, it's weird, every time we've been talking about this movie, we've never said the name of it.
Yeah, we've never really said that we're like, oh, I want to go watch that Muppets film.
Yeah.
So directed by Brian Henson, the son of
Jim Henson. Jim Henson of every single movie with special effects in the 70s and 80s and 90s.
Pretty much, yeah.
And of the Muppet fame, yeah.
So, what do you think, Daniel?
So this movie, let me
We're gonna make
I have my clipboard right here. The trailer for this movie came out, and I think, like everyone, we are like,
what?
Why? What and
but
why? This I feel like it was going to be a movie at extremes. It's either going to be completely garbage or really, really good. And I think this movie was neither of those.
It's surprising, because I literally thought that, hey, it's going to be either super funny, super meta, or absolute garbage.
Yeah, so like, the obviously the premise of this movie is a washed up cop thrown off the police force, has to now work with his old partner. If you heard it before, it's happened a million times in movies. That's pretty much the premise of this movie. And I think,
same plot as Moana, pretty much.
Damn, I need to finish Moana, man.
You have to wait till the end of credits.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, no, so, and I think that's where the biggest, I guess, disappointment came from this movie for me, at least, because I went into this movie thinking, you know what, this movie's gonna go balls to the wall extreme with its premise.
It did go balls to the wall at some moments.
At some moments there were, but it never
committed.
It never did anything really special other than having some felt characters instead of humans.
Yeah. So it starts off with this world we're kind of walking into, and it's very much like if you've seen the movie Bright or any film about, two different classes in the same world kind of living together, and it's this whole, you're kind of getting along for the ride. You're like, okay, cool, this is funny, and then when the real climax starts to occur, it just takes a weird turn, and you're just kind of like, well, it's kind of boring now. Like, where's the fun? And none of the humor, I felt, really went for it. They just they played it too safe sometimes.
Yeah, and I think all the moments of outrageous humor was all in the trailer.
All in the trailer.
So there were no moments in this movie, that like really
moments
that surprised us. Like, we definitely laughed at some parts because there was some kind of glimmers of really smart humor here.
Yeah.
And I think that's where a movie like this would have been so good in the hands of someone like Phil Lord and Chris Miller, or somebody who really understands that meta comedy area, This movie could have really benefited from that. I don't think it had it.
It felt like it was being written as it was being shot.
Yeah.
And then there was a lot of continuity errors. Like, some that were pretty big. Like, they would say, like, oh, this happened 20 years ago. And then the next scene they'd say, yeah, it happened 12 years ago. I'm like, but how did they mess that up?
And just like little things that, sorry, I almost fell backwards.
Dodging a
my puppeteer is not doing so well right now. There's some moments where you feel like this movie could have gone for so much more in terms of even just the plot of it. It felt just very simple, and there were some things happening where, like, there's a lot of human characters introduced in this movie that felt like they were just there because they needed more dialogue time. Something I will say for this movie, though, the puppeteering was amazing.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So if you're a fan of Muppets, and
don't go see this movie then.
No, don't take your children to see this movie.
Ruin your children.
Right.
It's a great concept.
Yeah, great concept. Didn't deliver it.
I
think we're safe to say,
skip it.
That was this time.
And we'll see you next.
We'll see you next.
Was it a snake again?
I forgot my puppet at home.